Now listen, I want to welcome back to Driven by Purpose. And, I'm your host, Rudy Rudiger. Today I'm joined by Frank Astorino. Welcome to the show. I got it right.
You did?
We're good. We're good. That's great.
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. And now you're a wealth manager, and I'm going to ask you some questions today.
Sure.
Let's have fun with them.
Okay.
You can go where you want to go, but just now we're going to have fun. But you had a moment in your life. You had this moment, and whether it was early, recent, it doesn't matter. But be truthful. When something shifted inside you and gave you a sense of deeper purpose, it could have been something you're doing now, or could have been something you weren't doing.
Right.
What was that moment?
I'm going to tie that question to what I know a little bit about you. I recently just watched your movie,
Nice.
Rudy, and it had a personal connection with me. So it goes back to high school. I had made the varsity basketball team as a sophomore, but there's no way I was going to be able to dunk the ball ever. And I was one of 8 children, and the only way I was going to go to college is if I got a scholarship or paid for
So
it.
you were from 8 children.
I'm one of 8 children.
I'm one of 14, so we got
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few things we have in common.
Yeah.
I really love some of your story background. But so when I realized that, I was playing varsity at a young age, but I didn't think I was going to get a scholarship doing that. I just wasn't growing, and I wanted to do something that was more eye level, where I could focus. And I joined the tennis team. So from freshman year to senior, we were a state champion tennis team. But everybody on the team was ranked, and when I got on as a freshman, I was second doubles, and then I eventually worked my way up to second singles. That was an important part in my life because usually the top 3 positions get scouted and looked at for scholarships, and I needed one. So something happened on the senior year. There were 2 kids that were twins, and they expected to be second and third singles, but I knocked them both out to become second. And then at midway in the season, they dropped off the team.
Oh, wow.
They just took off.
Now your opportunity's there.
Well, my opportunity is there I wasn't going to go higher than second because the guy in front of me was pretty accomplished. And, I had no formal training or lessons. I was a good basketball player, but I liked tennis. So we're getting within 2 weeks of the state finals at Princeton. We've made it every year.
So you went to Princeton?
Yeah. I've been there. I didn't go to school there, but that's where the finals were.
That's where the finals were.
Yeah. So we made it every year, and we won. This year was senior year, and all of a sudden the 2 twins show back up on the team. Their father's an attorney.
Right.
And the superintendent, the principal, everybody collectively, because without me, decided they were going to put them back at second and third. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if it's ethical or legitimate or whatever. But me and my first doubles partner, which I would have been reduced to, we ended up quitting. And I remember some of the lines in your story about never quitting. And I wasn't sure if I would regret it, but I knew I had to pay for school. This was my last year, my last chance. So I had to go out and work. And I started working instead of playing on the team. So that was a defining period for me, because that led to I either wanted to be an attorney for justice.
Nice.
Or what I learned later is that I really knew what money meant to be able to advance yourself. If I couldn't go to college, I wasn't going to be as competitive. So the beauty of the story, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets towards the people that did that, but I ended up being a walk-on to a Division I tennis team. I didn't get any scholarship, didn't get any money, so I did it for 2 years because I really had to work to pay for college.
Sure.
But I proved to myself that I was worthy of the position.
You were worthy.
Yeah. So I would say that was a shift, for me.
Now, okay, when you have that shift and when you have that shift within yourself, what changes?
Well, actually, my father had an influence on me because he was the one that got me to play tennis, and he would ask what I wanted to do when I grow up, and I always has a hesitation because there was always lofty leadership positions. You know, if I wanted to be the president of the United States, it was like I don't think I could do that. I think there's too many bad things there, and my dad would just look at me and say, "Well, just change it." And I thought that conviction was very critical for me as a teenager, to know that someone could believe in you that much that it didn't matter what you wanted to do.
Gotcha. Yeah. And it's interesting, once you discovered your why,
Yeah.
it sounds like. So how do you use that in your life today, where you live, lead, and connect with people? And
Well,
others?
as a wealth manager, and it's kind of a term that has less meaning than why you do what you do.
Yeah.
I've become sensitive to other people's injustices, and I've also been sensitive to people's stories that, either they've had trauma in their life or they needed a pathway to lead a life of significance. And I felt the tools that I had in wealth management, plus the appreciation for our humanity. I know you went to Notre Dame, but I also went to Boston College.
Well, hey,
So,
my daughter went to the Boston Conservatory, so we know Boston well.
yeah,
And my first duty station in the Navy was in Boston, so I know
Navy.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston's
Naval
a great town.
shipyards, Charleston shipyards.
Well, I just felt that helping defend people, deliver what they needed and expected, and having them delight in your delivery was very satisfying. So whatever I did, whatever I studied, whatever, credentials I acquired were all to make me, in terms of your history, every action I did had to be a Super Bowl effort. Like there's no like second best. There was no good. You had to be great. And that resonated with
I'd
me.
like to ask you that. No, you got to answer me honestly. How important is it to be great, or how important is it to be awesome?
Interesting. I think I'd rather be awesome.
Yeah, because not everybody. There's only one great person.
That's upstairs.
That's upstairs.
Yeah, he owns the house.
Yeah, but to be awesome, that means you're doing your best. You're being who you want to be. That's living awesome.
I like that word better than great. Because great can mean many things. You be a great king and a terrible person.
Yeah.
Awesome is when you've like really all the stars line up.
Oh my gosh, you have an awesome life, and it seems like you have awesome moments. So when you have these experiences, and you haven't shared it publicly before, there's one experience.
It's definitely one of those.
Yeah, they help you realize how powerful your purpose really is. What was that? What was that?
Well, I came full circle in my adult life in a leadership position, and there was that opportunity to either hang in or quit. And I wouldn't call it quitting. I would call it changing direction. But I was an uncontested 4-term councilman in our town.
Nice.
And I was the financial chair. And, I didn't really want to focus on party lines, but I wanted to do the right thing. And as a finance chair, our town had a history of picking up the benefits for all the council people.
Gotcha.
Now, in and of itself, I wasn't against that. However, and I could have used it because I had 4 kids in college at the same time. I had triplets, and
wow.
So I was writing out big checks, and I couldn't justify $34,000 a year for a volunteer position.
Right.
Yeah, some people might need it, and and I did need it, but it was a well-kept secret.
Yes.
So I stood out on that and became what I would call a pariah. There were people that resented me for taking that position. But our budget was only 17% of the taxes, and for the fire department and the police department,
Sure.
I couldn't justify it. And so that kind of made me realize who your friends were, and what politics was doing was to either get elected, and that was doing the right thing, but it was always a conflict for people, that they felt doing the right thing was getting elected.
Well, I think here's what you're saying. I like what you're saying. By doing the right thing, that's your purpose.
That's my purpose.
Yeah,
And that's
it doesn't matter what they think. That's a harder thing for people.
well, it's never wrong to do the right thing.
No, never wrong. But you want people to like you.
Yes.
You want people to accept you. No, just respect me.
I like respect.
Yeah, respect is much more powerful than you don't have to like me.
There's a term in politics that I call that as like, to me, it was like psychic income for people.
Yeah.
Like if you don't make your money and save for retirement, however you want to do it. A lot of politicians that had to postpone their retirement because they didn't make any money doing it, but you know,
They do now.
oh my God.
They come out multi-millionaires. But that's not the point. The point is, I think what you said is so powerful that you stuck for your values more than the power.
Right.
And I think that purpose that you found in your life that you lead with today and that you can help people with today is that why is stick to your values.
Have to. And that's probably why I'm here today, is that I found it more satisfying helping underprivileged kids and charities that didn't have a chance than to just kind of like look for status or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have a deep set sense of purpose. You have a big heart, but you're soft-spoken with humility, and you're humble, and people respect that because you speak with a firmness that's not aggressive. You speak with a firmness of truth, and a lot of people can't do that. How do you help people do that? How do you help them find their purpose? They're having issues, but how do you uncover their purpose? And what's the question you would ask them?
Well, I have a discovery process that has not failed me, and it usually covers 7 realms of their financial world, but most of it's qualitative, not financial. It's very easy to get a balance sheet and a tax return, but I start with values.
That is more powerful than anything you've said or will say, especially with your family, because you're building a nice legacy, whether you realize that or not.
Times.
Because a legacy is more important than how much money you have or what kind of homes. Because you're giving your family, you're teaching them how to fish, basically.
I like that expression.
You are.
Instead of throwing them their fish.
Yeah, and what you're teaching them, too, is something that they need, is this character. Because it's okay to fail. It's okay to be not okay.
I like that. I have a similar saying to that. It's, what would life be like if you knew you could never fail?
Yeah, and you know what? We're all going to fail. If we don't fail, we're not trying.
But failure could be turned around into an opportunity.
Yes, and you found that too.
I found that in sports.
Yes, you did. Entitlement versus merit.
Ooh.
We need merit. And I know merit is more important for your character than entitlement. And I fought that, by the way.
You did?
Well, when you go to Notre Dame, there's a lot of entitlement athletes.
That's a challenge today for them.
And when you're a walk-on, like you were, guess what? You got to buy your own food.
I did.
That guy had he got his food.
I didn't get the rackets for free.
You got to buy your books. You got to buy your room. You got to buy your toys.
There was a lesson in that.
There was a lesson in that. Because you're out there earning merit. Oh, guess what? What paid off in your life was what? Merit.
Merit, it taught me the value of
earning.
I had to make it. And there was no other choice.
No other choice. I love that. And do you find that in your business when you do that? To help people discover that?
I do. And I feel that that's why I go back to my roots, and your questions are good ones. When I had to work on my forehand and hit against the wall for 2 hours without, stopping and run bleachers and stuff, right. I did whatever it took. And I did that in starting my business, is that there was no limit to what I would do.
No limit. Yeah.
And I just wanted, it wasn't motivated by the money. It was being motivated by solving a problem.
And the money comes.
Oh, it follows.
It follows, especially in that culture.
Yeah.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
Wow. 2 boys, 2 girls?
I have I adopted our first daughter,
Nice.
and she's a doll, and I had my first granddaughter through her. And then the triplets were 2 girls and a boy. So I was
The triplets. To me, that's amazing.
yeah, that calmed me a lot.
My God, when you saw one come out, you said, "No, there's another one."
I'll never.
No, we got one more. That had to be a shocker.
It was. You had to peel me off the floor.
Yeah.
Because as a financial advisor, I was sitting in the waiting room with my HP calculator. And do you know what the number was that I was going to have to pay for college? I did it right there while my wife had
$500,000.
1 million
Yeah, easy.
after tax.
After tax. So one last question I got to ask.
Hmm.
When you're doing this financial planning, did you expect this financial planning, or did you see something else you're doing?
Well, originally, I mean, I didn't. I thought first I was going to either play the piano or stay in sports. And then I wanted to go to law school. And then I had a lot of trouble speed reading. So, to take the test, the LSAT,
Right.
was I did very well in college
Yeah.
because there were other ways to get grades, but,
Well, Boston College was easy, I heard.
yeah. I did well there, but it was all humanity. I learned a lot about philosophy,
Philosophy.
political science, all that stuff. And the financial world, I fell into it.
Really?
Yeah. I was actually I was being recruited to advertise by the CEO of a company who became a client. But I was at a retreat, and I had to give a witness talk. And the 3 people that came up to me all were from financial planning services.
No kidding.
So I ended up going with one of them.
Well, so you felt good about their energy.
I did. I
Yeah,
did. I
that's
felt like it was in a good place, good culture.
Now, is it what you really want to do, or something you had to do, or is something else you want to do?
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like my first choice or goal
What do you think it is now?
to make an impact. I definitely want to be
Right.
published. I want to continue speaking. I'm expanding. I'm drawing people from my 30 plus years.
That is awesome.
Um,
I speak for a living. I'm not any good at it,
I'll
be honest.
That's true.
but I have fun with it, and I don't expect to be the greatest speaker. I want to do what you just said. I want to impact them.
Yes,
I don't want to be a great speaker. I want to have an awesome moment with you,
I love that word.
and and let's have an impact, and that is more important than looking good, sounding good.
Agree.
Because I stumble and bumble, but that's what we all do in life, right?
Right.
So if you act like you're perfect, you don't connect.
No, I use a lot of self-deprecation.
Yeah,
I know I'm
yeah.
not perfect, but
No, but you're awesome.
I do love to see people's lives improve or be better because you had something to do with it.
Yeah. If I wanted to get in touch with, if you had someone that get in touch with you, how would you do that?
Well, we have a website. I mean, it's www.astorinofinancialgroup.com. It's usually word of mouth, but
Yeah, a lot of referrals.
yeah, most of them might be.
That is
some
pretty
sort of-
cool. It's been fun talking to professionals like yourself. I'm an animated type of guy, and we're done. Look at that. When they open that door, Frank, it's fireworks. Yeah, hook. Well, you've done a great job.